got over 300 sari. It's different material, different embroidery, different color, style. My favorite sari? Many. Many.
They're colourful and you can do like different styles with them.
Sometimes when you pick your colour, it basically expresses your feelings.
Gold could express happiness.
Blue could express water. Green could express nature.
You're wearing red today, so what does that express?
Well, it could express love.
First time I wore a sari, of course, being Indian and living in India and following Indian culture, any religious ceremonies that were taking place, I always wore a sari.
I wore my mum's hand-me-downs or my sister's hand-me-downs saris, but it was quite good because we had loads. We could choose what sari colour we want or what suited me.
સાઉથ અમેરિકા ગયા હતા ને અમે તો કે માચુ પીચુ ઉપર ચડ્યા હતા તો એ મેં સાડી પહેરીને જ ગઈ હતી અને પછી નીચે સાડી પહેરીને કોઈનો પણ હાથ પકડવો નથી પડ્યો નથી લાકડી લેવી પડી.
I had some beautiful saris and I used to wear, I didn't wear them to the temple. I was still young then. This was before I got married. I still wore frocks when I went to the temple. But when there was something there, the special prayer, and I took part in the singing and so on, then I used to wear a sari.
વાત કરીએ ને તો હું સાવ નાની હતી ને ત્યારથી મને સાડી એટલી બધી ગમતી હતી કે હું ચણિયા ચોળી પહેરું અને ઉપર ચુંદડી લઈ અને માથે ઓઢવાનો પણ એટલો બધો શોખ હતો અને લાજ કાઢવાનો પણ એટલો બધો શોખ હતો. પણ મારું સાસરું એવું મળ્યું કે મારે લાજ પણ ના કાઢવી પડે.
અને સાડીની ઘણી બધી જાતના ઉપયોગ થાય છે. સાડી જૂની થાય એટલે પહેલાં સુતરાઉનો રિવાજ હતો એટલે પાપડ સુકવવામાં વાપરે, પછી કોઈ વખત એની ગોદડીઓ કરે, પછી એના બારીના પડદા કરે, એવા ઘણા બધા ઉપયોગ થતા હતા.
My earliest memories of saris and where the passion comes from really, I would say it's come from looking at the choices my mother and my mum's sister made.
I always loved to look at my mum's saris, but I never actually saw her wearing them. They used to hang up and they were just beautiful fabrics. And the first time I wore a sari was when Mum let me try them on. And she did it to take photos to show the aunties back in India.
First time I did wear sari on my convocation day to collect my degree, because it was written that everyone has to wear sari, which was of light blue color, and people were saying that I am looking very majestic.
What is it you like about the sari?
It's really colourful and it has nice fabric. There's so much design on it that you can have a great experience with it.
I like flowers and it's got loads of flowers on it. Also, this is my auntie's and it's 10 years old.
This is my daughter Tanusha. This is her first time wearing a sari. She's wearing her grandma's sari. I love this sari. My mum gave it to me, so I thought I'll give it to her and pass the tradition. She thought it was such a long material. How are we going to put all around her? But we've managed, haven't we?
અને હજી યાદ છે, વર્ષો પહેલાંની વાત કરું છું, મારા મમ્મીને એક સાડી આપી હતી અને એક એમની પાસે સાડી હતી, એ ઇલેક્ટ્રિક બલ્બ્સ મૂકેલા હતા કે એ ચાલે ને ત્યારે એમાં બલ્બની લાઇટ થતી હતી.
My mum, as a 19-year-old, got married, left Trivandrum and was exposed into this world outside of Kerala and also an armed forces style of living. So every time my dad got transferred around parts of India, she would go looking at what sort of fabrics were available, what sort of saris were available, and add that to her collection.
This is a sari that my mum bought for me when she was last in India. This is the only sort of a colourful sari that I actually had that's mine. Anyone that knows me knows that I always wear black. So I probably wouldn't have chosen something this colourful, but I'm really grateful that she did.
This bandhani is from Jamnagar and it's got two pastel colors which I really liked it and I bought it from Jamnagar. But it became very favorite for my mother. My mother wore this sari twice, and she's passed away now, but we all has her photograph with this sari in everybody's house, and she looks so pretty with this sari.
I think the British weather is perfect for wearing saris because mostly the temperatures are on the lower end, so wearing saris are very comfortable.
When it used to snow, which was quite few months in this country, I used to wear sari with no problem at all.
The only place that was warm was the district line or the circle line. So we used to sit there and go round for 2 hours just to spend time and talk and meet people. It was great fun.
I came in this country in 1972 as a refugee. I didn't bring many saris because we were only allowed one suitcase. I came in this country as well wearing sari, living with English family wearing sari, and went to work in sari as well. Nobody really said no to me, and they were very happily accepted me as wearing sari.
When I was in India, I did not think wearing a sari was unusual. It's what most people at either my workplaces or within my family I had seen people wear. And if I would wear a sari, it would generate a comment, even if it was an appreciative comment. And then that's when I started realizing that actually wearing a sari is unusual. And I was surprised that that reaction also came from Indian community.
Staying in the nurses' home, of course, the girls were fascinated by all this. So there will always be a talk at the table of what food or what, if there was going to be a function, what am I going to wear? And a couple of them used to ask me if I could dress them, and I used to.
The family didn't want me to come. My mother said, "You're going to an English country. What if he goes and finds an English girl there? What are you going to do? How are you going to cope?" I said, "I don't think that will happen, Mom." Because my husband was, he was very, very fond of me. Although my sight, he knew how my sight was later, that I wasn't perfect. But it didn't bother him at all. He just loved me. When I came here, I started wearing my sari because I wanted to show people I'm not any other, scrub. I wear sari all the time. And I told my husband, I said, "Look, I think we can't carry on like this. I can't live in a flat like this all our life. We've got to find a home, get a home, and, live like what we used to." So I said, "Then you can't work on your own and just save up. I'll help you. I'll go to work as well." He said, "You haven't worked. How are you going to work?" "Well, I'll work. I'll do something," I said.
My son's wife was getting twins, So I came here when she was due for her twins. So I came to this country. Frustrated in the house, I used to tell my son, "I can't stay all day in the house cleaning, cooking and all that. They go look for a job." And I went to work in Sainsbury's, and then they gave me the uniform. I had to wear skirt and blouse. It was too much for me. I used to think I was naked. I used to wear the skirt, and I used to tell everybody, "Can you see anything at the back?" Then I started wearing trousers, and that's how I started wearing my English clothes. Never wore in my life.
Worked in Woolworths, which was in the High Street. I was in charge of the crockery, China department. When I was in Woolworths, I wore dresses then. And I went back because everyone was wearing dresses there.
When I came to London, I used to wear a sari, and I used to live in a nurse's home, and I'll go out in a sari, and I could not believe it. The whole street was outside watching me walk. So one day I stopped and I said, "Can I help you with anything?" And they said, No, it's okay. We're just coming to see you." And I thought, that's funny. But afterwards I realized that they had not met or seen an Indian person in a sari.
Well, they just looked at you as some person fallen from heaven or something. I was I think, I'm not being big-headed about this. I think I was unique. Wearing a sari, wearing a flower in my hair to match my saris and all that, and everybody knew me, because of that. People used to talk to me, sometimes I didn't know them.
Every fabric is different. Silks, cottons, linens, mixed fabrics.
When you buy a sari, it's just a material, but at the bottom you have to put a special border to weigh it down, and then you have to wear the matching material which is on the end of the sari to match and make a blouse what size and style you want. The shop next to the door, they've got bangles and jewellery. If you don't get it in that time, you never get the same shade the following year.
You can buy a plain sari, and then I took it to India to do the embroidery.
I painted myself. I wore it so many times, but I cannot get apart from this sari, so it's still lying in my wardrobe. I can't wear it now because I have put so much weight on now. But it's lovely sari. One day probably my daughter-in-law or my daughter will wear them.
This is a sari that you can wear on either side. And recently I decided to put this border there because it made me feel it's different now. And I quite enjoy it.
The border on here describes different aspects of life. So in this particular one, it's taking the bride to her wedding. This other one that we have here is a dancing one, and they're dancing with the dandias. The print is repeated continually, but it's absolutely seamless, so you can't tell where it starts and where it finishes. It looks like the world going round like they do in Navaratri. So on a sari, this would look incredible. I wore a sari when I went to Garba, but what I did, I cheated. I put everything short up to an ankle. I did the pecker that you wear underneath, short, and I wear the sari really short up to the ankle, just underneath, above the ankle, so I can hop and dance.
સાંજના 6 વાગ્યાના ચાલુ થયા હતા લગ્ન પછી એ પતી ગયું પછી બધા જમવા બેઠા જમી લીધું તો 11 થયા રાતના 11 થયા ને પછી ફેરા ફરવાનો ટાઈમ આવ્યો એટલે બે ખુરશી સામસામે રાખી બાજુમાં રાખી પછી ફેરા ફર્યા સવારના 4 વાગે લગ્ન કરીને અમે ઉઠ્યા હતા.
Those days I used to have to come home and propose. You couldn't find your own young man and all that. My brother's friend, he came home one day with him and he saw me and he wanted to get married to me. But people told him, so what are you going to marry the blind girl for? So they kept putting him off and he said, no, well, I'm going to marry her. If not, I'm not getting married at all. I had a normal sari, sort of very pretty, I must say. It was all sorts of colors, but it was beautiful. With lots of work on it sometimes it was just floral, sometimes, lots of different jari work and sequin works and whatever you.
When I got married, my parents gave me 51 saris, and my mother-in-law gave me 11 saris.
This is one of the saris I wore during my wedding. This is traditionally given by the groom's side. The groom gives it to the bride during the wedding ceremony, and this is pure gold, and this is just pure cotton.
I have been married for 55 years. This is a sari from my wedding time. I bought this and I love it. I'm told that these threads are gold. My mother's parents were Gandhiwadi, so they used to wear clothes that were woven at home. My parents gave me the, liberty to say, look, you buy what you want to wear. So that's what I did. You might say that this is not traditional, but this is some things that I like, and I thought, why should I not choose what I want? And that's how I have different collection, different saris, which is not probably traditional as far as the tradition is concerned in Gujaratis. But I'm very happy with all that.
This is a very precious sari for me. It's for my engagement I wore it. In 1970, we paid about 5,000 rupees. At that time, the 5,000 rupees was like 5,000 pound. And the silk is very, very thin silk material. But the jari made the sari very heavy. After that, I haven't worn it. It's too heavy, but very nice.
This is my wedding sari. This is called a panetar. A panetar comes from my mama, that is my mummy's brother. They buy us the panetar, and this was a white in color, and I've just got it dyed to this color so I can wear it in different occasions.
Saris for me, I thought they were always just very beautiful, very elegant. And when I saw photos of my mum in them, I thought when I got married, I wanted to wear a sari, which isn't traditional for us because we're from a Christian background. Yeah. They'd wear saris back in India, but in this country, it's not something normal. Mum bought me my wedding sari, which is
beautiful one. Yeah.
And it was the first time I'd properly worn a sari in public ever. And I was really scared it was going to fall down because when you're not used to wearing them, you don't quite understand how they all go and how they're going to stay. And I had nightmares beforehand of like walking up with my dad and it all just unravelling. So I made Mum stitch it onto my skirt and blouse. But it was lovely, and I was really happy that I got to share something like that with my mum, because my mum got married in a sari, and I felt really good to be getting married in a sari that Mum had bought for me.
Funny, I was never comfortable with wearing the sari. It's a fiddly thing, I thought. Yeah.
It's tradition in our society that once you get married, the very next day you have to open your suitcase and show all whatever you've got, and relatives, friends all come to see it.
My sister-in-law opens the suitcase and she can pick up one sari what she likes.
So it could be the sari that you really like?
Oh yes, sometimes it does.
When I first came to this country, I came with whatever I got for my wedding, which was 25 saris. When I reached my in-laws, the first remark was, oh dear, she hasn't got anything that's good.
So how did you feel when you heard
I
that?
was absolutely devastated. Then she fumbled through my suitcase and my jewelry and everything, and she said, there isn't anything to see or show. And she went across and told everybody not to come. My mother-in-law was so kind. She held my head and put it on her shoulder, and she said, don't worry, you will not be able to stay with her, but I know you're not going to stay here, so it's okay. It won't be long.
મને મારી મમ્મી તરફથી કહેવામાં આવ્યું કે આ જે સાડી તને બધી આપી છે એમાં તું જ્યારે તારે સાસરે જશે તો તારી નણંદને જે ગમે તે એ પહેલી ઉઠાવી લેશે તો તું રિસાઈ ના જઈશ. તો હું કોલેજમાં ભણતી દીકરી હતી તો થોડી દાદાગીરીથી મને જે પસંદ હતી તે સાડી મેં બેગમાં મૂકીને હું લઈ જ નહોતી ગઈ કે તે નણંદ લઈ લે. એટલે આ મારું ચીટિંગ આજે કન્ફેસ કરું કે લગ્નને દિવસે નણંદને ગમી તે લીધી પણ મારી ચોઈસ મારી પાસે. થેન્ક યુ.
I mean, what we found when we went to India was that a lot of the sewing skills that were there just seemed to be sadly disappearing. Younger people don't seem to get into this type of design and thing, which I think is terribly sad, because it will become possibly a lost art. unless there is some sort of an artisan movement.
Many people in India are wearing saris, and if it actually stops, there would be many complaints around India.
I think sari tradition will continue. It might not have the volume as it does in India even today. I suppose for the next generation to wear more saris, the responsibility rests with their parents.
I'm definitely positive because more and more youngsters are now going for saris. My granddaughters and my daughter-in-law, I often think of giving these saris away and they are saying, no way mom, you're going to give them, we're going to use them. So I'm waiting for them to start using my saris.
I don't know whether the grandchildren will, but I hope they do. I hope they do.
Do you like wearing a sari?
Yes! When I'm older, I would wear a sari on somebody's wedding, or if there's a festival.
When I'm older, I would wear a sari if I have my brother's wedding, or if there's a special occasion such as Holi, Diwali.
When I'm older, I would wear saris at special occasions and functions. I would probably wear a sari at someone's wedding or special occasions, or like my sister's wedding.
When I grow up, I would love to wear saris during any special occasion. At my own wedding, I would love to wear like white and red. It looks really nice on all people, no matter what you look like.
People do say that sari does look very good on me.
It's something that suits us, I feel. I do wear English clothes, but I'm never comfortable in them. Whereas in a sari, I'm always comfortable.
Would you wear one in future?
I'm not sure. I might. I'd like to see it.
We make an effort to not just collect, but also to wear these and to celebrate it and not look awkward or uncomfortable or make a big deal out of it. I think it would then fascinate the younger generation.
बढ़ती ही जाती है सनम प्यार की ये बेखुदी हो
जब तक ना पड़े आशिक की नजर जब तक ना पड़े आशिक की नजर सिंगार अधूरा रहता है घूंघट की आड़ से दिलबर का
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का